So welcome to a new episode of In the Bonus Podcast. We are excited to be with you guys this week. We got some exciting topics. So y'all guys get ready and prepare. First, we want to go ahead and jump into it. Everybody wants to know, is LeBron James the greatest of all time? And is getting one more ring the thing he needs to kind of get that title?
I think LeBron is already the greatest of all time.
Why do you say that?
Why do you think that?
Because his ability to make his teammates better and the fact that he is constantly breaking records.
I'm going to have to disagree with it, buddy, to make his teammates greater part. If he made his teammates greater, why he consistently got to request for new teammates if he can just stick with the same ones and make them better?
You wild boy. That's all I'm gonna say.
You want to go first, Trey?
Nah, go ahead, because I know what you about to say. Go ahead.
No. So all right. So currently, LeBron is 4-6 in the finals, which means he made it 10 times. I don't think nobody else ever done that other than like Bill Russell. Correct? Correct me if I'm wrong.
And like two of his teammates.
Yeah, but they only had like 8 teams in the NBA at that point in time.
Yeah.
So if we give him one more championship, if he win this year, he'll be 5-6. MJ ain't made it but 6 times. Yeah, of course he won all 6. I get that, but LeBron has to be considered the GOAT. Like, look at his longevity. He's like top 5 in points all time, top 5 in assists all time, top 5 in rebounds. No, I think I'm wrong about that. But there's no way you can not consider him the GOAT. Like, he can probably be a GOAT right now, if you ask me. So you go ahead,
I agree, but at the same time, like you said, when Bill Russell played, it was only 8 teams, meaning it's a whole different era, whole different play, whole different style of basketball. You want to compare like old, maybe legendary basketball to modern basketball? Who says LeBron can stick with Bill Russell and them boys back then? You know?
What?
But all right, Larry. So what's your reason? What's your reasoning for him not being GOAT? You feel like MJ to go?
I don't feel like there is a GOAT. You might be a GOAT of your time, because I have never seen a man rewind time.
I mean, like, that's true, but like, so I mean,
how you know how LeBron would have played with MJ, with Bill Russell, with Magic? Like, how do you know how he would have played? Would he have been great in that time? We can't possibly know that.
I mean, let's just be honest. I feel like he would have gave them boys 80 back then, but we don't even got to get into the time period because the sport is still the sport. Like, I get what you're saying. Like, it's different eras, but the sport of basketball is still the same. And like those records that we talk that Dominique and Nick had mentioned are records that was kept when Bill Russell and them was playing too. You know what I'm saying?
Can I add something in here?
Yeah.
The fact that people want to be like, oh, well, we don't know how they would play back then. I will say that the gameplay has elevated continuously, decade after decade. These kids are watching these elite players, and they are emulating what they do. Look at Kobe. Kobe was a freaking GOAT. Why? Because he emulated Michael Jordan, and then people emulated Kobe. And now you got all these little Kobes running around. You got all these MJs. Now you got all these new LeBrons coming out. I mean, the fact that he's still dominant in this league and people are playing on this level, come on, man.
He is dominant, definitely. Like in this day and age, yes, he is.
At the end of the day, bro, athletes evolve. Athletes evolve, bro. So like, if MJ could have been great in the 70s, MJ could be great right now. LeBron could be great in the 70s. LeBron could be great right now, or in the 90s when MJ was running the league. I can't see how you compare like eras. Like, I mean, you can compare eras, but you're saying like you're not sure LeBron could be great back then. That doesn't make sense to me.
I didn't say I'm not saying I'm not sure he can be great. I'm saying we can't possibly know. You can't. You can't be 100% sure that LeBron will be great.
So do you think athletes in general, just athletes, not even basketball players, are faster, bigger, and stronger these days compared to the 90s?
More skilled, yes.
Okay.
Back then, are we talking about just as far as the skill aspect, or are we talking about the actual gameplay itself? Like you have back then, the referees, they didn't call no foul every time somebody blew their breath on you. If LeBron was to get smacked and touch the ground, he got no foul call, he probably quit the NBA if he was playing back then.
I agree with that, but
no more. It was less politics then; it's more now. I mean, it depends on what you want to go off.
Definitely politics. I agree with that.
We talked about that before.
Nah, go ahead, cool. I saw you was about to say something. What was you about to ask, Larry? Because I feel like we had got off track a little bit. I'll get back on after you finish.
Yeah, so I was just gonna say, I think a lot of people, like, we talk about a lot of great teams, right? And so if you think about like the 88 Pistons, you think about the 96 Bulls, you're thinking about Golden State a few years ago, we talk about these teams as like the best teams to ever play the game, right? And no team LeBron has ever been on has been considered on that list, but he's made it to the finals 10 times. So if he's not on one of the greatest teams of all time and he can get to the finals 10 times, how can he not be the greatest player of all time? Just a thought.
That's nice. I like that.
Let's also say that I saw the recent stat when he was that he was, what was he? He was 20 years old, and I think it was within 10 or 20 games, LeBron got his first triple double.
Yeah. What was you gonna say, Larry? To what Cool is said?
Triple double quicker than that. But
I mean, Melo.
So you mean to tell me, like, the Bulls, because of MJ, everybody, they're one, like the Bulls, the Celtics, Lakers, like teams like that, like in depth with as far as their dynasty, right? They're great teams. So you mean to tell me they've been great teams from like forever, or did they all get sorry at one point in time?
But not they did. That's true. But like because at that same period, like that same time period, I'll use the 95 Bulls, for example, 96 Bulls. When MJ had retired, they only the difference in losses was like 3 games. That's it. They pretty much had the identical record the next season when he didn't play.
Yeah, I definitely don't think we're going to get to the bottom of this today. But it's definitely, I do want to bring it back to the original question of, will one more ring do it? Right. So I think there's definitely some confusion or disagreement about if he's the GOAT right now. But just give me your final thoughts on, do you think one more ring would push him over the edge?
I think,
and if not, how many does he need?
I think for sure, if we put LeBron, he won a championship this year, that'll put him at 5 and 6. I think that's a guaranteed GOAT. Like, he's the GOAT. There's no conversation in my eyes, but I understand you guys look at it differently.
Yeah, I would say, I feel like my personal opinion, he was already to go after his Cleveland championship, after the 3rd one. This 4th one, I feel like, it solidifies it. But if we talking about one more ring, I'll say 2 more. If he can get to 6, like MJ, there's no more discussion to be had. I ain't even having, like, we can keep the conversation up now. And when he get to 6, there's no more conversation to be had, period.
I feel like rings don't define how great a player or person is, but I know, like I said, through his time from when he came in up until he gone, GOAT hands down. As far as entire NBA, I just don't know.
Okay, and I was just saying, Larry, I feel like we just brought up the rings because that's what people like to bring up when they comparing Jordan and LeBron.
Right. And then before we even can get him to another championship, he has a lot of good teams to go against in the West. One of them being the Phoenix Suns. They got off to a hot start this year. Do you guys think they'll potentially be a good contender coming out of the West?
To be honest with you, I don't think they're going to be consistent enough to be contenders in the West as far as playoff wise.
Yeah, I feel like there's a difference between like actual contenders and like playoff teams. I feel like there'll be a playoff team, but they not like to be a contender. You got to be, I say, like in the top half of that playoff picture. You know what I'm saying? And I don't feel like they are one of the 4 best teams in the Western Conference right now.
So I think currently the Suns they're number 2 in the West right now.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're like 7-3. Of course, by the time this come out, we don't know how their record's gonna look. But I mean, I think they can definitely get home court advantage. They could be a top 4 in the West with Chris Paul, Devin Booker, and DeAndre Ayton. They got a nice little court. I think Chris Paul is one of the biggest pickups during the offseason. So I feel like they can definitely have a nice run. They could probably win the first round, which, I mean, it's a difference between a contender, like you said, and, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. I think they can win the first round for sure.
Bro, but you just said so top 4 though. Like who's gonna be behind them though? You saying they're gonna be a top 4 team in the West at the end of the season? You talking just regular season, or you saying
regular season? Regular season. So I mean, right now I was looking at defensive ratings. Right now they're top 5 in defensive rating. So if they playing defense, we know they're gonna score. They got Chris Paul and Devin Booker, so I know they're gonna score. But they can keep playing great defense with role players like Jay Crowder, Mikal Bridges, and Cameron Johnson. I think they'll be all right. I think they'll be solid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I mean they were the only team to go undefeated in the bubble, and picking up Chris Paul definitely is a good add-on. What do you guys think is that the piece that they're missing in order to go far?
That's a good question.
I think they need more length to play defense. That's the biggest thing. I feel like they solidified at the point guard and shooting guard. They could probably add more length to play defense at a 3 and a 4. They can get a decent backup point guard behind Chris Paul. They could play on the 4 with Chris Paul and maybe move Booker to the 3 at times if need be.
Who do you think would be appropriate for the quote unquote length category?
I mean, there's a lot of that in the league, of course. Yeah. Man, edit this out, man.
Nah, man. I don't happy news.
But I don't know, man. I mean, it's a lot of those players in the league right now, so I can't tell you exactly who would be a great person for that. But
I don't even know. I honestly say I feel like talent wise is there. I say experience, bro. I feel like they just need to consistently like make them postseason runs and just learn from it. Because I feel like aside from Chris Paul, they got like a really young core. So them boys just need to get some playoff experience and bro, go through the trenches and they'll figure it out.
Definitely. Well, we'll take a quick break here, and then we'll be back in a second with more basketball action.
This podcast was brought to you by Optical Illusions Photography and Media. Let us capture your best moments in the perfect way.
So we're back. And so we just finished talking about the Western Conference. So let's jump over to the Eastern Conference. Since LeBron has left the Eastern Conference, it's definitely been a toss-up between the different teams. Ranked number 1 is Philadelphia and Boston, of course. So what do you guys think about Boston and their potential for this year?
Boston look good to me. They look pretty decent. But I don't know, it's a toss-up. It is very unclear right now of who's going to take the East. I think it's not a big gap, but I think everybody's kind of the same for the most part for the like top 5 teams. Like they all kind of even.
I feel like right now it's really between, in my opinion, I feel like it's between Brooklyn, Philadelphia, and Boston. And Brooklyn, of course.
Your squad not in the mix?
No, they're not right now.
Show him who I'm talking about real quick.
You already know. You already know who it is. Wade.
Okay. Dang, you don't think so? They just made the finals, bro.
They made the finals.
Yeah, I mean they made the finals, but the Eastern Conference got a lot better. Tatum, he's improving. Jaylen Brown is taking a step up. I think Tristan Thompson was a very good pickup. He got a championship pedigree.
Facts.
I feel like they're pretty solid. They play great defense. They have great length. Yeah,
bro. Yeah, I feel like they addressed some of the issues that they was getting exposed by last year in the playoffs, like size. I think Tristan Thompson was a great pickup. Daniel Tice is playing a lot better. When Kemba get back in the mix, they'll bro, I feel like they got the talent, but Philly looking good too. So yeah, I'll agree, but I ain't gonna disrespect Miami like that. Like,
but
they returning. Everybody coming back except what, Crowder
and Derrick Jones Jr., which was some good defenders. But my thing is another great pickup that Boston had was Jeff Teague. Because one thing that kept happening in the playoffs was that everybody was picking on Kemba Walker defensively. Kemba Walker's like 6 feet. At least Teague can play a lot better defense than Kemba, in my opinion.
Bro, but Teague has he just been rusty or what? Because Teague, I mean, he can play defense, but he been looking like an eighth grader on offense, bro.
You're probably right, but I mean, at the end of the day, I do feel like they could play Marcus Smart at the 1, and then Tatum Brown and go from there. Yeah. So at the end of the day, they can play great defense. Kemba might just have to take a step back in the playoffs, and I'm not gonna say he'll come off the bench, but at the end of the games, he might not be in the game.
I'll say this: I feel like they can beat Brooklyn, but I feel like Philly will give them some trouble. I feel like if Boston matched up with Brooklyn, they could pull it off, but I feel like Philly would be the ones to upset them.
I feel like Ben Simmons still needs to start shooting. He's still not shooting. I mean, he didn't. I think he shot like 3 threes so far this season. But it looked bad last year because they didn't have no shooters, but they addressed that with Danny Green and Seth. Even though Danny Green been bricking just like he was last year. Curry looked good though. I've seen Curry drop a couple 20 pieces, so he looking good.
11 points though.
Yeah, bro.
It's whatever. Curry, like he about to get off this season. You know what I mean? But Boston, I think Tatum, like, since he developed a better shot, grew a couple inches, like that opens a lot up. Like, but I don't know if it's just me or like I think it made a difference. Like,
so
so he can shoot now, right? So he's more of a threat. So whenever he driving or whatever, like they don't know what to do. They don't know how to guard him, and like they capitalize him off of that alone. But y'all left out my boy Taco Faldo for the Lens. Y'all sleep on the boy.
But it's wild that they can't like get him. I don't know what it is. Like they can't get him on track. But to be that big, bro, I don't know how you ain't getting like logging minutes. Is it your endurance? Is it like, you know what I'm saying? Like, bro, if you 7'6", you got to find a way to get that man on the court, get him some real minutes.
He probably still need to put some weight on too, though, man. He probably get punished in the paint.
It's probably strength conditioning. That's probably what it is. Probably don't feel like he's strong enough.
Like if you look at somebody that's that height, like Boban is like huge.
Yeah,
like, he's huge, man. So it's a little different.
That's real.
And I know you guys kind of mentioned Brooklyn a couple of times. I know currently they are sitting at 5-6, number 10 in the East. Do you guys think this slow start is something that's going to continue? And then if not, kind of what is the reason behind such a slow start for the Brooklyn Nets?
So go ahead. I'll go first. All right. So KD missed 3 games due to the COVID protocol, which is unfortunate, but everybody in the league know that's going to happen this season. Right now, Kyrie is ghost. We don't really know what's going on. There's rumors swirling that he's potentially not playing due to riots, but we're not sure about that. But I mean that's part of it. Then of course Spencer Dinwiddie got hurt. He towards ACL, I think. So I mean, the season's still young. We got 72 games this year. So I mean, I think they'll be fine. As long as they're making the playoffs, they're going to be a matchup nightmare. So I think they'll be fine.
It's still a problem without Dinwiddie and Kyrie. You know why? That boy Levert, he be going crazy.
Yeah, Levert, nice. I think he went for 40 the other night. I think, right?
That man,
but they still took an L though. Yeah. So those stats don't matter.
I'll take that 40 in it because that 40 is gonna matter one game. It might matter, the L they just took, but it's gonna matter.
It's crazy. I think it's good that Levert goes off because I think Houston is still considering that Harden trade, but we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, I feel like to answer the question, I feel like the problem is like inconsistency, and to answer the question, I feel like that's going to keep up throughout the season, just for different reasons. Some their fault, some not. Like Dominique was saying, like with COVID, tracing everybody back, and I mean, bro, it's just hard. Like when you throw like one superstar on a team, and you trying to make it fit. They threw two like high level players onto the squad. It's hard. Like it's that same kind of like the same thing the Clippers were going through with how they had that good season, and how they pushed Golden State in the playoffs. And the next year you throw two superstars in there. It's like you got a group that's like used to being gritty and just grinding out wins. Nobody expects you to win on a nightly basis. To now it's like you got the pressure, you got the win. So, when Kevin Durant not playing, when Kyrie not playing, it's just hard to get everybody on one page, especially like when you talk about going into the playoffs. So I feel like the inconsistency is going to keep up, but that's just like the learning curve with a new team.
If they fall to like a 5, 6, 7, or 8 seed, they're gonna still be scared regardless. They got two of the best scorers in the league, so they're still gonna be a problem. I still feel like they can beat anybody in the East on any given night. So
maybe
they'll be fine.
Maybe.
Where's their weakness?
Defense. Let's not act like they even. And I thought it would be much better with like DeAndre Jordan and Jared Allen, but I don't know what it is. Like maybe it's Dinwiddie or bro, they just been like real inconsistent on defense on a nightly basis and even rebounding. Like
I feel like it's Steve Nash. This is his first time coaching. I feel like he may need to get an assistant coach that's very good on defense. I mean, his coach in his prime was Mike D'Antoni, and he wasn't, big on defense either. So maybe you need to find a good assistant to put in certain principles defensively that'll help him out.
But that ain't what they have right now. So
right.
That's what it's about to look like. Like that's the personality of the team, the philosophy of the coach. Like, but they just better hope they outscore teams, which they can. They talented enough, but like, bro, in the playoffs, everything slow down.
Yeah, you're right.
Yep. So with two of the top players in the league, anything can happen. So definitely excited to see what their season looks like. And so we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about the top 5 best players currently in the league. So y'all stay tuned, and we'll get to that in just a second. All right, so we are back, and the topic on the table is the best players in the NBA. So I do want to go through and kind of hear everybody's thoughts on the top 5 players that are currently playing in the game today.
I'll let you go, Dominique. Go ahead.
All right, man, I'm going to start at 5. My number 5 is AD, Anthony Davis. Number 4, I got Luka. Number 3, I got Kawhi. Number 2, I got KD, Kevin Durant. And number 1, I got the King. What you got, Trey?
All right. At 5, I got AD, Anthony Davis, the Brow, for sure. At 4, I got the Greek Freak. Don't disrespect him. He's still playing well. Come on now. And this when my number 2 gonna be a hot take. At 3, I got Kawhi. At 2, I got Stephen Curry. I got Stephen Curry right now at 2. And number 1, of course, the King, LeBron. I'll let y'all finish. I'll get into why Curry at number 2. Go ahead. Go ahead, cool.
Go ahead, man.
No, go ahead. Go ahead, Larry.
At 5, I got Bradley Beal. 4, I got AD. Yeah, come on. At 3, Kawhi 2. 2, I got Steph.
Okay.
I got Steph at 2. And 1, you got LeBron.
Yeah.
All right,
yes,
go ahead.
Sir.
Hop in there, Nick.
So for my number 5, I got AD.
Okay.
For number 4, I got Kawhi. Number 3, I have Steph. Number 2, I got KD. And then number 1, I got LeBron.
All right. So before we get into debate, I do want to make sure. Let me see. So I'm gonna focus real quick just to recap some of the players that we didn't mention. And so we didn't hear Kyrie Irving.
Right.
We didn't hear Paul George.
Right.
We didn't hear Dame Lillard.
Right.
Who's been having a great season.
Right.
We only heard Giannis once, and of course, no one said James Harden either, which was definitely a hot topic name last season.
Right.
So let's go ahead so we won't discuss LeBron. LeBron was on everybody's list.
At one, mind you.
Kawhi made everybody's list.
For sure.
Anthony Davis made everybody's list.
Mm-hmm.
And so we'll lock those in the top 3. And so let's have some debate. We have Stephen Curry on the floor. We have Kevin Durant. We have Giannis. We have Luka. And then we have Bill. 5 people. Let's talk about why you guys think they might deserve those 2 remaining spots.
Who was the last person you said?
Bradley Bill.
Bradley Bill.
But let me say this.
Who is Bill? Bill Russell? I'm sure who we talking about.
Let me say this though, man. If y'all gonna put, I would put Harden before Curry.
No, sir. Not right now. Not
why?
right now.
No, why?
Because Harden's better. Right now.
Right now?
Just because he put up 60 points in one game, I understand that.
And then he put up 38 the next game with 11 assists.
I get it, but I'm not about to just speak on just 5 games like in the season. I'm not gonna say longevity, but in the last 6 months, I'm gonna take Harden over Curry.
Bro, we talking about right now.
Yeah,
and right now, Steph is playing well while racking up wins. The Warriors are still winning games, bro.
The Warriors probably 500 right now.
They 5-4, I think, bro. The Rockets are like 3-6.
Check that for me, cool. What's the Warriors?
The Rockets are like 3-6 or something like that, right? Cool. The Warriors are 5-4, bro. So don't disrespect Steph.
So the Warriors are currently 6-4. And the Rockets are 3-5.
Exactly,
Damn.
Boy. Exactly. That's why Curry's up there. And
you're probably right. I'm probably not thinking just currently right now, but
you think about
I don't know. I can't. Yeah, man, it's hard for me to just think like 7 games. But
and to talk on your point about Dame not getting mentioned, because Dame is my boy, and I feel like he a top 5 player in the league. But I can't say it right now because what's the name been playing so well? CJ McCollum. CJ McCollum averaging like 27 right now.
And the reason I can't say that is because Curry put 62 on Dame.
He did.
He did. Yeah, that was on Dame.
He did.
And you know I love Dame. I would rather have Dame than Curry, but currently right now I can say Curry is better than. Right now, it's better than Dame.
Don't get me wrong, Dame tough. We all know that, but he getting outplayed a little bit right now.
And I feel like Bill putting up empty stats, Larry.
He's a leading scorer right now.
He's putting up empty stats. Their record is they probably won like 3 games.
2, I think.
He's the leading scorer right now.
They 2-8, I think. Right.
You know, Zach LaVine was the leading scorer in the league for like the first 15 games last season, right? What happened?
Are we talking about now or
just because you lead the league in points don't mean you top 5.
That's facts. You got to get wins too. I agree with Dominique. That's why I left your boy off. That's why Steph is where he's at because they still getting wins, bro. You got to win games.
Yeah. So currently the Wizards are 2-8 with the worst record in the league currently.
So y'all not gonna put no respect on Luka name?
I mean, he get respect. He's just not top 5 right now.
I'm tripping.
Why? How am I tripping?
They got an outstanding record.
Luka is baby LeBron.
What the Mavs look like, cool?
So the Mavs are currently 5-4. Number 6 in the West.
They don't even have their second best player right now.
If we talking about wins, that ain't enough.
He got more wins than the Wizards.
But hey,
in the Western Conference.
I would put if we talking Larry list, I would put Luka in there instead of Bill, but I feel like my list is solid. It covered everybody. It covered wins. It covered what it need to, bro.
I didn't know we were talking about wins too. I thought we were talking about just.
So all right. So if we talking about currently, my list. All right, currently, I'm gonna change my list. If we talking currently, I'm gonna take KD off my list.
Ooh, what?
Okay. I'm gonna take KD off. Because y'all said current. So KD, okay. He's still recovering. He's playing well.
He's always a threat. He's always.
Are we still going by wins? Because that's not a player stat. That's a team stat.
That's a good point.
I mean, it's just an opinion. It's not like
it's a variable, Larry. It's a team stat, but you got to put up.
It may or may not matter.
You have to win while putting up them stats. That's what I'm saying. Because even most players agree they don't want if they get 12 points with a win. A lot of players say they rather have that than 25.
All right, let me give you an example. Say for instance, somebody was 5-9, but they led the league in points and assists, and somebody else was 6-0. Who would you think top? Who's the best?
Boy, what you mean? What is that person that has 6-0?
All right, so the person that 6-0 has solid stats.
That's what that means.
But all right, so say the second person that 6-0 has solid stats. Would you put them over that person that's 5-9 but leading in points and assists?
Is the season only 6 games long?
No, I'm thinking about somebody in particular when I say 6-0.
I get what y'all saying.
Oh, because I mean, like, if you talking, if you talking about like MVP, like if it was only 6 games, I would get that person that's 6-0 because obviously they more valuable to that team.
I kind of try to think about LeBron championships.
I'm about to hit that. So if the Lakers win, right, and LeBron get most of the stats, right, is what most people gonna say what LeBron won. LeBron
even how about this? How about this, Dominique?
But if they lose, ain't nobody gonna be like, "Oh, Bron lost." They gonna say the Lakers lost.
Yeah, bro.
They gonna say LeBron.
If you wanna talk about it now, Dominique. If look this up real quick, cool. But I think on the Kia MVP ladder right now, LeBron is number 1, and his stats ain't even like nothing crazy. It's like 23 points a game, 7-7. It's like 23, 7-7. But because they 8-3, it's because of their record. Like he's number 1 in MVP voting right now.
But I get your point on that as far as the conversation goes. But LeBron is always at the top, and he always get.
Yeah, I'm just saying like how important wins are.
Yeah.
It's a team game. Like you still gotta win.
Dominique, you feel like it's politics when it comes to LeBron?
Definitely politics. LeBron should have at least another 3 or 4 MVPs. And I'm not even a big LeBron fan. I'm not a hater neither, but LeBron should definitely have 3 or 4 more MVPs. What y'all think? Y'all don't think so?
I mean, we can get into that another time. Well, I want to hear what you was about to say. When you took KD off, who'd you put on your list?
Damn, I forgot.
That's the whole point. That's what you was trying to get into.
All right, so who's the people that you guys mentioned? Because so far I got LeBron, Leonard, Luka, and AD.
The people on everybody's list was LeBron, AD, and Kawhi.
Mm-hmm. And then the others mentioned was Curry, Durant,
I didn't say Kawhi.
Luka, Bradley Beal, and Giannis.
Did I say Kawhi? I don't think
I would probably say, it pains me to say this, I'll probably say Giannis because I hate his game. I would say Giannis. I'm putting Giannis over Curry. Then I'll put Curry after Giannis, but that'd be like number 6.
You should, because he got more wins than Curry. Going by that.
I don't even know what the Bucks' record is. I haven't paid attention to this season.
I don't.
7-4.
They 7-4, bro.
Yeah, so he need to be number one. To be honest with you,
they put up wins, bro. Nah, not number one. The Lakers are 8-3.
Okay, so he number two then. Then we gotta compensate for the wins, right?
Look, just because Bill not top five, it's okay, bro. Bill is not. It's fine. It's fine, bro. I love Bill, but Bill is not top five. It's okay, man.
I get it. He's not top five because we counting wins too. I got you. He's not top five. No,
bro. It ain't just wins, Larry, but you have to win. That's part of it. That's definitely part of it.
I got it.
This is like your whole Rondo point guard debate versus LeBron. We ain't gonna talk about it.
I want to get started in.
All right. So let's keep it rolling. So we know there's a lot of good talent in the league, but there's also a lot of good new talent coming in. A lot of good rookies. So what are your guys' thoughts on the hottest rookie currently in the game?
Bro, I'm gonna say there's three rookies I've been paying attention to: Lonzo, Wiseman, and Edwards. But
LaMelo.
I give
Carmelo.
I won't disrespect Carmelo. LaMelo. I give him credit because he is on that Charlotte team. I got to see the rest of the season from the other two, from Wiseman and Edwards, because you do have Cat coming back for the Timberwolves, and of course Draymond that came back for the Warriors. So I got to see how them other two rookies play. It was easy to put up stats when the stars weren't on the team. So we'll see what it looks like the rest of the season.
Don't forget, do not leave out Halliburton, however you say his name, and Pritchard. You can't leave them out. Them boys no hooping.
Cole Anthony looked good in Orlando too, but I do want to mention James Wiseman. I think his skill set is very diverse. He kind of reminds me of a mix between AD and Marvin Bagley. He can get the rebound, dribble down the court. Say what?
I said I was gonna say more Bagley than Anthony Davis.
Yeah, I mean Bagley, but he can shoot. He can shoot the little mid range. He shoot the three. He could dribble off.
He's southpaw too, right?
Mm-hmm. He's what?
Southpaw, left-handed.
Yeah, he's southpaw. Yeah, most definitely. He's very impressive. I would say right now LaMelo's having the best season, but Wiseman has really impressed me. I think the thing about LaMelo that a lot of people don't know is that LaMelo is playing behind two other point guards. He's playing behind Devontae Graham and Terry Rozier, and he's still putting up great stats. So that's pretty impressive. So when he actually starts and plays over 30 minutes, his numbers going to be crazy. He already had a triple-double. Like Nick mentioned earlier, he was the youngest.
Andre Young.
Oh, yeah, true that. He's the youngest player to get a triple-double at that age. So that's pretty impressive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And just to share some stats from some of the players we mentioned. So Anthony Edwards with Minnesota has been averaging 15 points, 2.6 rebounds, 2 assists, 41.3% field goal percentage, 28.6 from the three-point line. We have James Wiseman with Golden State Warriors averaging 11 points, 6 rebounds, 1.7 blocks, 46.4% from the field goal percentage. We have Peyton Pritchard with the Boston Celtics, Larry mentioned, currently averaging 8.6 points, 3.1 assists, 2.4 rebounds, 1.3 steals a game, 51.6% field goal percentage. LaMelo Ball with the Charlotte Hornets, averaging 12.8 points, 6.3 rebounds, 5.9 assists, 1.5 steals, and 43.9% field goal range, shooting 35.6 from the three-point line. And then Tyrese, I think it's Halliburton with the Kings, 12.1 points per game, 5.5 assists, 2.6 rebounds, 1.4 steals, and 52% from field goal and 50% from the three-point line, which is pretty impressive.
He gets like 28 minutes a game, though.
Yeah, I got another rookie that actually playing well, too. You don't have to look up his stats, but Tariq Maxey, I think that's his name. The guy that plays for Philly, he just had 40 points the other night.
He exciting to watch too, to be honest with you.
Yeah, he's pretty solid too. He's out of Kentucky, so be on the lookout for him. He might actually like help that team in the playoffs because out of all the teams, that's probably the main team that's gonna make the playoffs that has a rookie. I mean, of course, it's like the Warriors, so Wiseman might have a big chance to make some noise in the playoffs, but that's one player I wanted to mention.
Definitely. And as teams move towards the playoffs, we all know that there's always moving pieces. And so there's going to be a lot of talks about different trades. And so one of the trades I want to mention is with James Harden. Do you guys think he is in a position where he should continue to ask for a trade, or should he be content with what he has in Houston?
You want to go first, Trey?
You're ready to go. Like everybody else is going where they want to go, right? Building that team somewhere else. Why can't he? You know, I mean, he always could stay in Houston and they can build, but they've tried that over and over. I mean, they ain't really gotten nowhere.
I feel like
right. They really they traded DeAndre Jordan. I think Capella was starting at that point and changed point guards a few times. That's about it. I mean, so they could give him more, you know, than what they've given him. But at the same time, that man want to leave. Like, he got an opportunity to go on another team that he's more comfortable with, and I feel like he should.
I feel like right now Houston might have the best team James Harden ever had. If you look at John Wall, DeMarcus Cousins, Christian Woods, which was one of the biggest pickups they had. I think Christian Woods was probably the best pickup they had this season. He's playing pretty good. I think this might be one of the best teams he had since he's been in Houston. So I wouldn't want to leave that. I would actually give it a chance, see how they play together. I mean, it's still young. I don't know what their record is, but it's still young. I would give it at least another 15, 20 games and see what happens before I ask for a trade. I mean, he already asked for a trade, but before I get real serious about it. As far as Houston, like the organization, I wouldn't trade him. I would keep him because the market right now, they're not going to get anybody better than what they already have. I mean, some people mention like trading Kyrie for James Harden. I would still rather have James Harden. Some people mention Ben Simmons for James Harden. I would potentially do the Ben Simmons trade, but from Philly point of view, I wouldn't do the trade because Ben Simmons is still young. So I don't know, but I think I would probably keep James Harden from the organization point of view. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, I would. I wouldn't be content, and I feel like he's not content because I feel like that's why that Brooklyn trade was so appealing to him, because I think he just wants to play with another like superstar level talent. I disagree with Dominique. As far as this is the best team he's had, I feel like that team that pushed the Warriors to 7 when that was like right before they traded Capella. I think that was the best team that he's played with. But yeah, I wouldn't. And then like, so when you look at that team and what they did, like almost beating Golden State, to when he look around to what he has now, of course he was already frustrated. He wanted to be gone anyway. I mean, they still losing. Like I could see if they went like 8-0 and he like, they like, come on, bro. Like we winning games. Like why you want to leave? But I feel like he still has a good argument. Like I just can't get nothing done with the team I have and the situation I'm in. So I wouldn't be content. I would still want to leave if I was him. But I do agree with you that if I was Houston, I wouldn't trade him away if I'm not getting no like superstar in return.
So where would you? All right. So other than Philly and Brooklyn, because of course that's the two that everybody's talking about. Where else would you consider trading James Harden to?
Yeah, I mean he might can get a decent package from Boston. I forgot who and
they was talking about Jaylen Brown, I think. Yeah.
Jaylen Brown. Even I saw they was talking about them rumors with Denver. That wasn't bad. I feel like me and you had talked about it we had texted about it for a minute. I would have done that like with Jamal Murray and somebody else. I would, just to, cause he like Jamal Murray still got like upside. I feel like he a star right now, but he do got like upside to be like an actual superstar. Yeah. So if you're not sure that you definitely getting a superstar in return, at least get somebody that is gonna they on their way up to being a superstar, and Jamal Murray proved that in the playoffs last year. So
yeah, that probably would be the best deal they can get is the one from Denver, other than Brooklyn and Philly. That probably most definitely be the best deal they can get.
Yeah,
I don't think that he should leave the Rockets.
Why not?
He asked. I mean, he has a high salary price, and the way that James Harden plays, he'd be a hard fit. He's a tough fit to put onto another team. Like, why would you not? Like, just like Dominique said, he has this great members on his team. Like, bro, just sit there for a second. He's got like 2 more seasons until he's in free agency.
But so you speaking from a team perspective? What about him? Do you think he should want to leave though?
Bro, he's not even that old, bro. Just chill out for a second.
He is pretty old. He's like 31, 32 right now, I think. Right?
Yeah, I think he's trying to get that. Once he passed 30, he's trying to get that chip, bro.
Yeah. So you said talk about his salary, Nick, but you got to think these guys they paid like James Harden, a veteran, man. He's been in the league. He's been through contracts. He's getting money. He's a superstar. But like I'm pretty sure he's not the only one, but a lot of superstars are willing to take pay cuts.
Yeah, he got like $100 million from Adidas right now, so he's straight.
Yeah, they're willing to take pay cuts from the NBA to go play with other superstars so they can get their chip. With KD, hey, it worked out for him.
At the end of the day, it's up to them teams to figure out that money situation. If I was James Harden, I'd get my money, but they really want James Harden, they'll figure it out. That's just how I feel.
I think he has a valid team built that could be there for him to build with, honestly. And they probably pull something out, if not this season, then the next.
I do think, like, if I was James Harden, I probably would want to go to the Eastern Conference. Eastern Conference is weaker than the West. He's been dealing with the West for his whole career, so maybe moving to the Eastern Conference help him get a championship or at least get to the finals, because he only been to the finals that one time with OKC.
So. And the Lakers smacked them last night. Just throwing that out there.
The last 2 games the Lakers have smacked them.
Just to clarify, James Harden is 31. So he's getting up there. A lot of players are. Curry's 32, Durant is 32, Westbrook is 32.
End of an era.
LeBron is 36, and so definitely time is winding down. I think in general for James Harden, if it's either championship or bust, right? And so when you get over 30, you don't have a lot of years to try.
So can I ask a question real quick then? Since you're saying it's the end of an era, 5 years from now, 6 years from now, who's gonna be the face of the league?
Giannis.
That's tough, bro. That's tough. Cause if you think about it, bro, like it's been one dude who been the face of the league for like 15 years, yo. So it's hard to say like who is gonna be the next face, because it's like we so used to an era, like you were saying, and like one certain person, bro. So I don't know.
I feel like it's somewhere between Giannis or AD.
Yeah,
it could be AD. I could see AD being the face of the league. I think that's what LeBron wants to do. He want to pass the torch as he leaves out. So I can see that one. But I think my answer is going to be Luka. I think Luka will be the face of the league. I think Luka's only like 23 right now.
Bruh, really though? You think you can honestly say he'll be the face as a foreign player though?
I mean, he just said Giannis. So Giannis, I mean, he's the potential.
The same, yeah. I mean, I would make that same argument with Giannis. Like, it's hard to be the face. I mean, not saying it can't happen, but when you're not even an American player,
I think the NBA wants that. I think they want to have those foreign affiliations or relationships. I think they want that. So it wouldn't surprise me if he's the face of the league. And then it's not like he really the face of the league. It's just like opinion. We don't know if LeBron's the face of the league. We just say that because we just think he's the best in the world right now.
LeBron is definitely the face of the league.
I would say like there are some players like you had Jordan, you had Kobe,
Space Jam is
you got LeBron. So it's definitely interesting to see if anybody's going to emerge. as a generational talent. I think it would have to be somebody who can consistently beat LeBron and wear him out on his way out.
Or just, I was going to say, or be consistent in general, cool. Because you think about it, because what's the name kind of made a case to be the face of the league for a minute, Steph Curry, when the Warriors were doing their thing. But you see how quick, like, you fall off. Like, so for LeBron to have done it for 15 years, like, you got to be consistently great. So, like, we talk about the top talents in the league. Bro, it's not good enough to just have a couple of good seasons. Like, you got to have consistent greatness, and not even as talented as some of these players are. Sometimes that's just not good enough. Like, you got to be willing to make them sacrifices to put in the work to make sure that I'm the face of the league, like every year. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I agree with that.
All right. And then before we close out, we're going to talk about one more potential trade. Larry mentioned Bradley Beal being in his top 5 in the league and currently having the worst record in the league at the Washington Wizards. Should he be requesting a trade at this time?
Yes. Yes.
Where would he go?
Absolutely.
Where would you trade him to?
Anywhere.
You can put him on any team. It really don't matter. As long as they better than the one he owns.
I mean, I guess every team is better.
So this is the trade I think
facts.
I think should happen. And I know Trey is gonna love this trade.
Oh.
I don't even know if it's possible. I think Bradley Beal should go to the Lakers.
Well,
and I think I would consider sending like Schroeder, even though they just got Schroeder, Kuzma, and then whoever else to make the money work. Mm-hmm. I would consider sending him to
the Lakers will have to give away more than that, bro. Washington is not letting Beal, especially like all the hype had, because he was so sought after this summer. The Wizards not letting him go for like no apple pies or nothing like that, bro. Like they gon'
I agree.
But if I don't, bro, that's tough, man. Because the Lakers been playing so well, so like. Because it's easy to be like, bro, we'll give up the house. Like, you can have anybody you want other than LeBron and AD. But, bro, that bench going to be looking weak. And I feel like that's finally been their strength after being a weakness for so long. Is like having a deep team. You know what I'm saying? So,
yes, well, I mean, who would you trade them to? Like, who you think would be a good trade?
Maybe if Golden State could pull off a trade. Even I feel like the Wizards might be more inclined to take some of that talent from Brooklyn. If Brooklyn was willing to send like LeVert and Allen and all those pieces, Dinwiddie, you know, that'll be a crazy big 3 out there with KD and Beal and Irving.
Yeah, if I was Brooklyn, I would rather have Beal than have Harden. Because he can catch and shoot. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't need the ball as much as Harden.
But they poses the same question too, though. Like, if you was Brooklyn, would you want to like give up your depth to get another superstar? You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to have a lot of confidence in your big 3 that's coming in to trade away everybody to just basically add 3 superstars left. I mean, but think about trying to fill it out.
Think about what Miami did in 2012, 2013.
That's what I'm saying.
Their bench wasn't the strongest. They had.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. But that's LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh. Like, you gotta have you gotta like be faithful in that big 3 that you're trying to bring in. And even now, like with KD and Irving, it's like got the questions are being raised already. So it's like, why would we trade the house to bring in another superstar that might cause more issues?
Definitely on that, because I remember like Miami team had like Mario Chalmers and Norris Cole, and those players left that team and we never heard of them again. So
that big 3 was good enough where it didn't matter who else was on the team. But this, even because I wouldn't even have that much faith with LeBron and AD if they brought in just Beal, if they don't really have no depth like that. Just because in the Western Conference, there's still a lot of talent out there. So. I don't know, man.
One of the reasons why, besides LeBron and AD, why the Lakers so good though, for that bitch.
Yeah.
All right, so we getting ready to wrap it up. Are there any other lingering thoughts about any of the topics we hit on today?
Nah, we good.
Good. So if you guys are still listening, we just want to thank you for checking us out at the In the Bonus Podcast. Be sure to follow us on Instagram on In the Bonus Podcast. Follow us on YouTube. Subscribe on Apple, Spotify, and everywhere else you can find podcasts. We look forward to talking to you guys at our next episode. Peace.
Peace.
This podcast was brought to you by Optical Illusions Photography and Media. Let us capture your best moments in the perfect way.